Those in support that this matter is urgent enough, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Even though I hit the gavel, go ahead, move your motion. Sorry.
River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, most of the time when we talk about the Auditor General of the Federation, we tend to believe that they are looking for missing funds. They are, by our statutes, authorized to look at the quality, quantum, and processes in our various arms of government. It is on this basis that I move a motion on the need to investigate the alleged missing firearms and ammunition of the Nigerian police. The House notes the 2019 report of the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation on alleged disappearance of about 459 different arms and ammunition of the Nigerian police force in 2019. The House further notes that the audit of the Arms Movement Register, monthly returns of arms and ammunition register at the Armory section reveals that a total number of lost firearms as at December 2018 stood at 178,459 pieces. The House also notes that out of this number, 88,078 were AK-47 rifles, 3,907 assaulted rifles and pistols across different police formations, which could not be accounted for as a result of, as at January 2020. The House is aware of the findings in the report that the Police High Command failed to keep record of unserviceable and expired firearms and ammunition owing to non-compliance to the internal control system of the Nigerian police force. The House is also aware that records of the total number of unserviceable firearms were not produced for examinations, and there were no returns from Adamawa State Command, Police Mobile Force, 46, 56, 64, and 68 for the period under review. The House is alarmed that duly completed Treasury Form 146, loss of stores, were not presented. Records obtained from Force Armament of Force Headquarters showed 21 Police Mobile Force, PMF, Squadron, Abuja, did not report a single case of missing firearms, whereas schedule of missing arms obtained from the same PMF showed a total of 46 missing arms between year 2000 and February 2019. The House is worried that the value of the lost firearms could not be ascertained because no document relating to their cost of acquisition was presented for examination. The House is mindful of the worsening state of security, kidnapping, banditry in the country, and concerned that the missing arms could have found their way into the wrong hands. The House is also mindful that Nigeria did not undertake any war in recent times. The House resolves: 1, mandate the Committee on Public Accounts to establish the veracity of these allegations and conduct due diligence of the control processes
Honorable Simon
of
Karu,
the Armory of
approach
the
the
Nigerian Police Force. and report back to the House within 4 weeks. The House calls on the Inspector General of Police to take urgent actions to apprehend those culpable for the depletion of the armory of the Nigerian Police Force and mandate the House Committee on Police Affairs to report back, to ensure compliance and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Before the exit of our House, a committee constituted to look into the issue of those who are releasing criminals, and this is a very much related motion to it. I will have said in line with our rules to allow the police committee to report. We'll have a duplication of function. My prayer is that we amend the prayer for the police committee to handle, to allow the committee constituted, chaired by Fulata, to handle this particular exercise because they are very much related. That's my question.
Thank you. I mean, Honorable Fulata, is it the same motion or not exactly the same?
It's in the police force where criminals are arrested, handed over to the police, and they are released. This issue of now arms and ammunition disappearing and ended up where they may be with armed robbers is part of it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Honorable Toby.
And Honorable Fulata. But that was a particular incident. But this one is constitutional and statutory because the brief of the Public Accounts Committee is to see areas of non-compliance by statutory agencies of government. And this investigation has been done with them, so it sits in all fours within the brief of Public Accounts Committee. But why this is coming up as urgent and public is because the war that is being levied on Nigerians by bandits and other hoodlums, including terrorist organizations, I would think that instead of queuing behind of the Auditor General's report of 2017, 2018, 20, this should be brought up to speed so that it is expeditiously handled. Otherwise, in ordinary course of responsibility, they will address it. Because this is a report, whether the other ad hoc committee handles it or not, is in all fours within the Public Accounts Committee. So I would think it would be germane that bring it up to speed because it's urgent and public, and it has a lot to do with the lives of Nigerians. Thank you very much.
So in your opinion, we should not stay within the...
And handled speedily by the Public Accounts Committee. But if there would be need, I think...
We've already established an ad hoc committee. Now, if we accept that the subject matter, whether it's statutory, whether it's constitutional, whether it's anything, but the subject matter, if we accept that it's the same thing as what the ad hoc committee is already looking into, even if it's not on all fours, that is why we have the word consolidation. Bills do not have to be identical twins, but if the subject matter is almost there, for avoidance of duplicity or duplicating efforts, then we should just pass the same motion to the committee that's already handling it. Besides, Honorable Wole has so much going on for him, I'm not sure he even has time for it's too much.
Wole is doing. In this case, sir, I will plead that Wole should continue with his own audit of determining of the whereabouts, but the criminal aspect of the work that has happened should be handled by the committee. Because there's criminal aspect. In fact, I was just telling him, I have some audio. I do not want to be going always on air. A lot of information, sir, regarding the activities of some people, which I believe we need to nip this thing. Is consuming us and is going like a wildfire. We need to act faster on some of the activities of these security agencies, staff personnel. particularly. There's a lot of information, a lot of material, sir. And I believe we need a lot to do. In fact, the complicity of the officers of missing guns is not only in the police, that's as captured in the insurgency police. I believe we will have the same thing in the army. I believe we will have the same thing in other places. I do not want to go further because it borders on security. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Walioke, you wanted to say something? Then we have to move.
Canvassed by our leader, the Deputy Speaker of the House, vis-a-vis that of Honorable Fulata, the Chairman, House Committee on the Rules. Mr. Speaker, we cannot abort the provisions of the Constitution, Section 85. Vis-a-vis Order 18, Rule 6 of the House. The Auditor General has laid his report, and I think what the Auditor General means here is not about the criminal aspect of his report. The Auditor General dwelled more on accountability of the funds released to the police force used to procure arms, and the arms are nowhere to be found. My leader, the Deputy Minority Leader, is only giving us the impetus, because sometimes you invite these agencies, they don't come. And you see, we don't want to engage in competition or fighting. I believe that government, irrespective of whether you're of the legislative, judiciary, or the parliament, we all belong to the same government. However, we must draw the boundary and we must do our job. So to that extent, sir, if you look at the motion crafted by the Deputy Minority Leader, it captured the two arms. He look at the last paragraph, sir. He asked for the committee, the standing committee of the House on police affairs to handle the other leg of the issue. So I think, Mr. Speaker, I think this motion is in order. It captured both the prayers, both the views, opinions canvassed by my leader, the Deputy Speaker, and Honorable Fulata. Because if you look at the second leg of the prayer, sir, it's very clear. So I think it's my opinion, Mr. Speaker, that this motion be allowed to see the light of the day as a submit. Thank you.
All right. So for me, the way that we all in this house set up to look into almost the same thing, we have that. You're now arguing that the Public Accounts Standing Committee is actually saddled with that responsibility. We have set up many ad hoc committees for different reasons that their work is almost similar to that of a standing committee, but there were reasons behind it. I cannot remember the reason why we set up this ad hoc committee to do that, which ordinarily the Public Accounts Committee would do. But that having been done, the only way that I think that ad hoc committee can be stopped now from doing its work, because it's a resolution of this House. Even if we've made mistakes, which I'm not even conceding that we made a mistake, the only way that can be done, so that we don't duplicate efforts. You will now be calling them, they will be calling them. No, we shouldn't work like that. The only way is for you to bring a motion to rescind that resolution. Bring a motion to rescind that resolution so that committee can stop its work. It will now be left to the House to determine whether we want to rescind and stop the work of that committee. But we cannot abort the work of that committee the same way you said your work has been aborted. You are such a workaholic. You work too hard. All the agencies. Allow these people to continue what they do. You want to add more? I mean, we all know about your capacity for work and good work too. But since we've already set up another committee, whether erroneously or not, I don't know, let them continue or bring a motion to rescind that decision. I think that's the best the procedure, the way to go about it. So, do you want to move your amendment? No, you want to second DS's amendment? Okay, go ahead.
I'm from Natural State. I rise to second the amendment ably moved by the DS. I so second.
Okay. Yeah. Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.